Hey everybody, today you're going to hear of an idea that could empower retirees to leverage and monetize their knowledge and experience. You also hear about the time I learned how to tie a tie on YouTube. So welcome to our podcast, everybody. This is The Idealist. So Jonathan, are you a guy that is handy around the house with your automobiles? How good are you?
Automobile, I would say probably not, but I can do things like around the house.
You got skills?
Yeah.
Nice. How did you learn your skills?
A lot of trial and error.
Self-taught?
Yeah, a lot of minor shocks and slices and things like that.
Are you a YouTube guy? You find out how to do things on YouTube?
I do enjoy using YouTube now that it's around. I enjoy using
What's like the last YouTube informed job you did?
Dry brining steaks. I know that's not what we're talking about, but that's not around. Dry brining.
Oh, okay.
Steaks last night.
Ooh,
actually, it was really good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So I use it for all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
What's like? Give me like a handyman gone wrong story.
So I'll use a car story. We had this thing called an eagle talon.
An eagle talon? Like a talon from an eagle?
No, it was a car.
Oh, it's not a talon from an eagle. Yeah. It's an eagle talon car.
It was like I think it was the same as like a Dodge Viper.
Yeah.
But it was an eagle. That used to be a car
By
brand.
the way, I feel like in our podcast, I'm like 3 for 7 on your references.
Yeah.
You know, from like growing up.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, I didn't think I was that much older than you. But maybe I was that much poorer than you. But so
eagle talon.
So it's an eagle talon. Yeah. It was like a Dodge Viper, but junkier.
Yeah.
And, I had the spark plugs it wasn't starting. And so like all my research was leading me to, it's got to be research being like change the battery, that kind of research. Mm-hmm. It's got to be the spark plugs. So I'm going to change my own spark plugs. So I bought the special wrench to change the spark plugs, pulled off all the wire. Oh, and I was going to change the cables too. Because the guy, when I was buying the spark plug, said, hey, you need to change the cables too. And I was like, okay. So I pull all the cables off, take all the spark plugs out, put the spark plugs in, pop the cables on. Nothing.
Okay.
Like not even a sound.
No go.
Do you know why?
Of course not.
Okay, so that's where I was too. I was like, what is going on?
Of course not. But I'm about to tell you, I don't know anything about cars.
I'm trying to figure stuff out. And, you don't have a cell phone. Like there's so many problems during this time. To make a long story short, did you know you have to hook the wires up in a certain order for spark plugs? You can't just unplug them and plug them back in.
I would have never thought of that.
Me either.
I'm serious.
The guy was like,
that is so not intuitive.
The guy was like, you didn't diagram it when you took them off. And I was like, no, I feel like it's a plug and it's going to this point. Like, why do I? But yeah, there's a special firing order and you have to run the wires just right and all this kind of stuff. So then we had to order this old book that took forever to come in. And then we got it in and found the wiring thing. It was a mess.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. I am totally deficient when it comes to cars.
Okay.
Around the house, I'm pretty useless.
All right.
Real bullish on YouTube. So I do try things every now and then.
Like what?
Well, I learned how to tie a tie watching YouTube.
Okay.
That's how I learned how to tie a tie.
Yeah.
Recently the washer and dryer wasn't working. I watched a clip. I figured it out. I can't tell you though, figuring it out, the washer and dryer, the type of accomplishment I feel is inordinate.
Yeah.
I'm feeling way more accomplished than I should.
Right. So when you take the front part off, you're like, I cannot believe I just did that.
I'm like, honey, come on, like call the neighbors, bring them over, from far and wide.
Yeah.
Come see.
Let's do
what
YouTube.
Your husband
Let's make our own YouTube video
has
of this
done.
happening. Yeah.
And I did like the simplest thing.
Yeah.
But typically what takes somebody else like 5 minutes to do takes me like an hour and 5 minutes to do. That's my ratio. I'm like 20 times longer.
Okay.
Right now. So I'm hoping as time goes on, I just kind of bridge that gap a little bit.
But you're really good at watching the videos, though, right? You
listen,
don't have any problem there?
I'm very good at viewing.
Yeah.
Very good at viewing. I know like how to put the headphone in jack the right way, how to get it the volume into my ears. I know how to like twist the iPhone to do like panorama video. So I'm pretty accomplished.
There you go.
So I actually have an idea for people like me. Okay. So this might not be for you. This is for me though, and for the other Brads out there. So the idea has to do with home and auto fixing up repairs and advice. Okay. And here's how I got the idea. Our family just started using telemedicine, telehealth, and doing telehealth appointments for all of our stuff recently. So have you done this before, telehealth?
Yeah. During COVID. I did.
During COVID, you make an appointment. It's a relatively new technology, right? You make an appointment, and like 5 minutes later, we had a script written.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and it's the difference between there's WebMD, and then there's the telehealth appointments, right? And I feel like for around the house repairs, for auto repairs, you've got YouTube, which is like WebMD. Right. Mm-hmm. And what hasn't been done yet is the telehealth version for home and auto repairs. So what I'm talking about is an on-demand virtual appointments to talk to somebody to walk you through whatever is in front of you. That's the idea.
I have a question about telehealth real quick that I just thought of.
Okay, go.
Why? Are they just lying to us when we go to the doctor and they're shining stuff in our ears and our eyes and making us stick out our tongue and tapping our knees and all of that kind of stuff? Take a deep breath, pull it out. And then why do we have to take our clothes off sometimes if they can do all of this virtually?
Who's making you take your clothes off?
Oh, every female doctor I've ever had.
Are you saying why don't they just have you take your clothes off in the privacy of your own home?
Why can't I just do it? If I'm going to take it off, it might as well be in front of a video camera.
That's a really good question. I don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah, I just feel like they're like, this is all part of the show. Like I could see in doctor school, they're like, this is all part of the show. Like you got to make them think that their $150 is worth it. So. Send them down all these little trails.
I'm a little surprised how cynical you are about the medical industry.
Well, it's just like
you want to bookmark it. You want to talk about it?
No, there's some people that are doctors now that I went to school with.
Okay,
that weren't smart. They just went to school for a long time. Like that's the only difference. And I'm just like. So you went to school for 12 years.
So you think you can do what they can do, right? You think you can just go in there and you can say, hey, do.
Yes.
Why can't you do
Google.
that?
I have Google.
You have Google.
And that's what I feel like every time I've gone to a doctor lately anyway, they're like, oh, I don't know. Let me see. Blah, blah, blah. And they've got their computer turned away from you and they're on WebMD.
So this is why you like telehealth? It's quicker, more seamless?
Yeah.
Okay. So back to it. That's the idea, right? That's the idea. Why? So I have an uncle.
Okay.
His name is Uncle John. And anytime I have a problem, I'm calling him up. I'm like, what is this warning light on my car? What does this mean?
That kind of problem.
Yeah, that kind of problem, right? Anytime I have a home or auto problem or what drill bit do I use here? And I'll call him up. He's go to Ace Hardware, pick up this. It's in aisle 5, like he's just a guru. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, okay, he's got something to monetize.
Yeah.
He's got experience. He's got knowledge. I need it. There's more people like me out there. And it's the step between where I'm at and the mechanic, right? It's the step between where I'm at and the handyman. Why don't I try it myself before I hire someone? The problem is I need a little help, a little advice, and there's people out there who have it. So that's the general problem solution I'm looking at tackling. There's, I think, some interesting ways we can talk about monetizing it, the financial model, but there it is. That's the idea.
So basically you're taking two groups of people that otherwise wouldn't connect and connecting them. The one with answers and know-how and the people who have gumption, but no understanding. So I think it could be a good idea. I'd like to hear you flesh it out a little more. I think that could be a good idea. What would you call it?
Uncle John. You could call it Uncle John. There's Angie's List, and now you got Uncle John.
Okay.
Right? And I could imagine. Well, first of all, I think there's other names, right? You could do, okay, walk me through it. That could be the name of it.
Yeah.
Okay, walk me through it. Because isn't that what we say?
Yeah.
You know, that somebody shows up, a friend of yours shows up to like walk you through it. You go, okay, walk me through it.
Yeah. You could call it oops. Because that's when I wouldn't call, like if I was going to do it, I wouldn't call right at the beginning. I would be all the power's out in my house now. Oops. And so that's it.
See, I'm way behind you. I don't even waste my time.
Right.
You know, because I know I'm just going to make it worse. So
maybe you could have different levels of people. This is the oops guy, and this is the.
What if we called it "Oops, I did it again"?
Huh? Yeah.
No.
You could.
What other names could there be? Anything else?
I got this.
I got this. Yeah. Show me how.
Show me how.
Show me how. So
how do I turn the camera around? Because that's one of my buts about this whole thing as I'm thinking about it.
Oh, you are? Okay. Well, let's explore that. So let me walk through a little more of the business model that I've thought through, and then give me your buts. Okay. So I think there's two ways to go. One, the people on the other end of the line who are giving the advice, I guess technically it could be anybody who has the experience and expertise. But I think there's a real market for retirees. I think we just, we're hitting the great resignation. There's people who have retired on this side of the pandemic. There's 60, 65, 70, 75-year-olds who are no longer doing the work they were doing, and they're sitting around the house. Not all of them, but plenty of them are going, I spent my whole life like tinkering and doing things and working, and now I've got some time. And even though I don't have, maybe it's the, not the right time of life, or I don't have the energy to do what I was doing before, I still got some juice in the tank. And a lot of times you find those people just tinkering around the house, right? Mm-hmm. They're just cleaning a lot. They're fixing things. They're breaking things to fix things. Like those people could be on the other end of the line. They could be Uncle John. Right. In this scenario. And I think there's something really cool there, where if you just had all of the workers were retirees, and the brand was kind of around that. It's like bringing life, vitality to this particular generation, this particular life stage. And maybe it's profit sharing.
Boomers to the rescue.
It's boomers to it's boomers to the rescue.
Boomerang.
And profit sharing. So business model, or the financial model, could be, you sign up to be an Uncle John. The more you work, the more value you add, the more help you give, the more you share in the profits.
Yeah.
So that's the basic business model I come up with.
I feel like it sounds really weird when you say you sign up to become an Uncle John. I mean, there's I don't know why, but there's just something in that doesn't sound
doesn't ring true. Dissect it. Yeah, what is it?
I don't know. Uncle Tom's Cabin. Like there's a lot of there's just a lot of thoughts when you say Uncle John. Like it has a negative connotation in my mind right away. I could see like you're taking a whole boomer generation, and I was actually talking about how do I turn my camera around, thinking about every mechanic I've ever worked with, how they don't understand how to use their phone. But now I'm thinking about having all these old people on there being like, okay, what's this button do? And you spend more time trying to tell them, no, just, okay, now you've got it right. Oh, why are you taking a screenshot? Blah, blah, blah. Like more time. And then them being like, can you get it closer? Can you? Yeah. I could see there being a lot of frustration in those moments.
Learning curve could be steep.
Yeah. On the boomer side, on both sides. So they're both. And maybe it's reciprocal. Maybe you're like, you don't even pay them. You're like, I'll tell you how to plug in get your shows on this afternoon. If you can tell me how to rewire my house. Like, I feel like it's a fair trade.
Yeah. I mean, now we're talking about like pairing people up and then becoming friends, I feel like.
I don't know that they would ever become friends, though. I could see like...
They're like trading help with one
just
another.
Like, oh, man, yeah.
But so, I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think about like tapping into that generation and like giving...
I think it's important.
Some value there.
I do think that's important. I feel like that it's been, I'm just, thinking about my own parents, like my dad doesn't do anything, and he could, there's a lot of things. He could tell people how to have the greenest lawn in Kentucky or whatever. And so I could see him having purpose in that.
Yeah.
I feel like just thinking through some things, you'd have to make sure and give them, I don't think it could be done on their own phone. Like, I think you'd have to have your own like pad that they can't mess anything up with, that the call comes in and they're just, right there staring
Interesting.
at it. Interesting. I think that would have to be that way. But I think the idea.
Did your dad have a smartphone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you should.
My dad does too.
And?
Well, I mean, there's times where I have to go over and help him out a little bit, of course.
Yeah.
So I agree that's a yeah, but
yeah.
Right. If you go the retiree route. Now, you don't have to go this route. I think somebody could take this. I just think it would be fun. I think it would be like one of those ideas that's kind of like got two purposes. It's like, yeah, let's make a lot of money. We're meeting a need, but let's also do some good out there in the world.
Yeah.
And I think you could have a lot of fun with the brand too.
No, I do too. I think it could be really cool. Like you want to support,
support, Uncle John,
right. Right.
you want to support anybody who's on the other side of it. If like what they're up to, what life stage they're in. And like, this is actually a way for them to add value back into the world. There's something, I don't know, kind of a little warm and fuzzy about it.
You could have all these different ways to tip them, like pay part of their Medicare plan Part B, or send them a case of Ensure, or Depends, or all these different things.
There you go.
My dad, he doesn't do it anymore, but he used to sign off on his texts, "Love Dad," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I know, I know who your text is from. I know." But
that's the best. But Jonathan, just stop for a second. He loves you.
I know. He does. No, he does. He
sit in that for a second. Your dad loves you.
I know.
Okay, let's go on.
Cool. So I think that there's good in it. I think that I think it how like is it people are just like, isn't there already this thing? Isn't there like a dad on YouTube that like,
there's what's his name?
Daddy Help Me or something? It's something that when I saw it, I was like, I'm never putting that into my search into YouTube.
First of all, whatever the name is, I can guarantee you it's not Daddy Help Me.
I don't know. I think it's something like that.
Oh my gosh. No, but I know who you're talking about. He's like, people call him like the internet's dad.
Yeah.
I think is what he's called.
Okay.
And he does these videos in his garage. He's giving advice. He does like he tinkers and then he gives like real life advice. And it's really cool. But here's the thing. That's like the WebMD version of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's something where you can go online. You can find that's information. That's not contextualized value.
You're not having a two-way conversation with this guy. And he's not looking at your problem.
I want to be able to put a need out there on the app, and that guy shows up, or someone like him, and now I'm actually talking to him, and he's walking me through it. And what's interesting is that might take him, he might save me 2 hours of time in his 5 minutes of explanation.
Right.
Oh, you're using the wrong drill bit.
He's going to save you more than 5 minutes of time.
He's going to save me. And for him, I would imagine that's really fun.
Yeah.
Like I 5 minutes of my time, I just really help someone. People love to give advice. That's the other thing that's great about this concept in my mind is you're tapping into something people love, which is I have all this experience. I have all this knowledge. And finally somebody's asking me. And not only that, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid to give my advice. And I think that's a slam dunk.
Have you seen Nathan For You? I think I've talked about it before on this. Have you seen the episode where he helps a guy who has a dating app?
No.
So this guy has a dating app and he's like, and the guy's needing more female users because that's what they always need on dating apps. Uh-huh. So Nathan comes up with this idea called Daddy's Watching.
Okay.
And he was saying like when women are at home, their dad's there to watch, protect, be there, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But now that they're single adults living in the city, the dad's not there anymore. So he takes these dads that he finds on Craigslist and sends them to the girl's house when the date shows up. And this guy introduces himself as
that's incredible.
Daddy.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Similar to that. I mean, it's not the same as this, but it's
maybe that's where you got the idea for Daddy help me.
Daddy. I think he makes them say something like that, like daddy, please come fast or something like that. I'm in danger.
Oh man. So, any other yeah buts you got on this idea?
No, I think the biggest ones are I see a technological problem with not how hard the tech's going to be to build, but how hard it's going to be to build it so simple that a boomer can't screw it up.
Do you think it's worth going the retiree route, or do you like it just for anybody? Because let's be honest, if you're good at working on cars, and you're 25 years old, you're 30 years old, you can be on this app. I mean, you could go that direction with it, but it's a different. I just wonder if there's an opportunity there with the retirees. But what do you think? Which one do you like better?
I feel like the retiree I think they're two different businesses. I think if you do the one where it's anyone, like I have skills in something, it's Fiverr. And so I throw myself out there and then I help you. I think there's more traction to be made right away if it is something to do with retirees, like putting them to work. I feel like you could build out your portfolio of people and things that they could help in your whole little employment group faster if you're using retirees than if you're just letting anyone on there. And also, like, I can't imagine that you're going to make enough doing it that if you can actually do those things, why would you be wasting your time on this app? So I could see that's where retirees also would be better. Yeah.
In terms of financial model, my thought is it's a subscription model where you pay, maybe it's like $15 a month and you've got, access anytime you need it.
Yeah.
For advice. Or maybe it's a per appointment, or maybe you get a subscription gets you a certain amount, to it. Any thoughts you have on how this thing makes money?
And you get a subscription to AARP too when you,
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
I love subscriptions. I think it should be a subscription model. I think I would probably pay $15 a month now, even though I do a lot of stuff, just to be able to be like, hey, it would be perfect, like a gift for your kids, for like my son who's 23 out on his own. My daughter, 21, lives in New York City, always things breaking in her apartment.
Or your friend Brad.
Or my friend Brad. Yeah, it's a perfect gift.
Oh yeah, because what would happen is like I could see like I call you over like one too many times.
Yeah, and then you're like, hey, here's this app.
And Jonathan's like, listen, I'm just gonna buy you this.
Yeah,
here you go. If you have any problems, just utilize it.
Yep.
So, okay, cool. I'm trying to think if there's any other categories we need to walk through. We did Yabots, we did financial model, we worked through some names. Are we ready to rate it?
I'm ready to rate it.
Okay, let's rate this thing. This idea, let's rate it on this scale. You go in the backyard, and the backyard is filled with leaves.
Okay.
Just stacked high, okay? Lots and lots of leaves. On a scale of no tools, having to scoop them up with your arms and your hands versus having one of those gas-powered blowers that you can strap, the tank to your back and you're just, blowing away at the backyard. That's your scale. Where do you rate this particular idea?
I'm going to rate it as I'm hiring my elderly old lady neighbor across the street to come and clean it.
Why?
Because I'm going to go over there and fix her television, and then she's going to come over here by plugging it in, and then I'll tell her, okay, now, and she'll be like, oh, is there anything? Do you want some lemonade? And I'm going to say, no, I don't want any lemonade, but I have a bunch of leaves in my backyard that I need you to clean.
You're going to make your
We don't know that she's sweet. We don't know that she's sweet. We've seen her.
So then you're going to because she's not sweet, you're going to make her do this? That's even worse.
No, I don't know that she's not sweet. I'm just saying that this idea to me is employing old people who are typically complaining and in my way and in my area of life and giving them something to do to occupy their time that I don't want to do.
Okay.
That's how I'm rating it. So it's much higher but because honestly, I don't like either of your both of those are on the bottom of my scale because I hate, in fact, I have an idea at some point that we want to talk about those stupid leaf blowers. Why are they so loud?
Oh, I have an electric one. Do you have an electric one?
No, but you, on your scale, you gave me a gas-powered one.
Well, I only did gas power because they're way more powerful.
They are super powerful.
They're super powerful. Okay.
But do you feel like in the world, people are blowing leaves all the time, every day?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Like, it is so incredible.
It's actually out of all the chores in the backyard, it's by far the most therapeutic,
Yeah.
right? Because it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. So, okay, if on a scale of scooping them up with your own arms to an electric,
Yeah. I
blower,
feel like an electric
this
blower
is-
would be better. I think it would be. I think this would be like getting a rake and having your.
Hey, rake was
somebody-
a big invention.
Yeah,
Rake was a
and
big,
having
big deal
Somebody, show
when it
you how
made
to
it splash
properly
on the world.
use your rake, like having the right rake, not those rigid dirt rakes, but actually a leaf rake.
And having your not very sweet, very mean neighbor, old lady neighbor, rake it for you.
Yeah, or make me lemonade after I'm done raking it.
All right, this was fun. Good episode. Enjoyed talking this with you. We'll see what happens with the next idea. So thanks for listening to this episode. We've got a growing list of ideas, so we'll be back next time to share more with you. In the meantime, please rate, like, subscribe, and share this podcast with others. Again, thanks for joining The Idealist.
Call on if you must. I'm curious.